All right, so I was looking at a new article came out. It's in preprint form, and it is talking about cardiovascular disease and atherosclerosis and changing the paradigm. You know, basically saying that the way we treat cardiovascular disease in the world is backwards. We wait too long. We wait till people have heart attacks or advanced atherosclerotic disease to perhaps put a stent in or do a bypass or something like that, or wait till they're older and put them on, drugs to powerfully bring down their LDL cholesterol, and that atherosclerosis starts really in kids. You see fatty streaks and things like that, and we should be doing things to prevent that. And all that sounds, on the surface, that sounds reasonable, right? Prevent disease from progressing, so that we don't have, people having these problems later on in life. Completely makes sense. However, the question is LDL or ApoB the absolute causative factor for cardiovascular disease? In my mind, that is still questionable. I know that's sort of standard lipidology dogma. As I mentioned, there's a study coming out in a couple of days, which, of course, we'll be talking about, that you guys should share far and wide, because we need to have this discourse about what the issue is, because here's a real scary part. So with regard to preventing atherosclerosis early on in life, and again, I think that is fine. However, putting little kids perhaps on these powerful cholesterol lowering drugs from an early age for their whole life, perhaps, and this is being talked about, certainly modifying their genetic code through perhaps gene therapy, vaccinations that potentially can do that, to vaccinate you against cholesterol, basically. And with consequences, lifelong consequences, which may be good, but may be bad. And we know, for instance, that, there are studies that show that people have higher cholesterol live longer, all-cause mortality. There's studies that show that people with lower cholesterols have higher cancer rates in some studies. There are studies that show that people with low cholesterol have higher rates of depression, higher rates of suicidality, higher rates of violence, potentially dementia. So all these potential issues with monkeying with our body's ability to produce cholesterol could have disastrous consequences. Our cholesterol, our lipoproteins participate in the immune response. And so let's say we, how long of data do you think they'll get before they decide it's safe to unleash upon the human population? This may be something that, maybe doesn't show its head for 20 years. So in my view, I'm not signing up for that, nor would I recommend it to my children. I don't care. I think it is potentially extremely scary. And then, if it gets on, say, a childhood vaccine schedule, which I think that's plausible, then manufacturers, I guess, would be indemnified from all potential liability as it is now. To me, that is, the implication of that are quite concerning, right? So anyway, as I said, 2 days from now, Matt Budoff's going to talk about this study that shows people with super high cholesterol have very little heart disease, very little atherosclerosis, which it should really change the discussion around the causal nature of a heart disease, and therefore perhaps saying, hey, maybe we should pump the brakes on this, put every kid on a cholesterol lowering drug, or God forbid, give them some sort of DNA modification, gene therapy to do so. All right, guys, let me know what you think. I got I'm getting busy, guys. Got some interesting stuff coming up. I'll tell you about it. You guys have a great one. Talk to you soon.